My book, The Secret to Superhuman Strength, is about my lifelong relationship with exercise as a way of looking at the connections between the mind, the body, the self, nature, and the universe. As a kid, I was obsessed with the bodybuilding ads in my comic books and their promise of invincibility. As I got older, I pursued various forms of physical exertion like karate, running, cycling, skiing, yoga, in a quest for the feeling of transcendence I would get from that physical exertion. The book begins in the small town of Pennsylvania, where I was born and spent my childhood, but it was quite a socially conservative place, and I knew at a young age that I needed to get out of there. As a young lesbian in the 1980s, I fled to the city, first New York, then Minneapolis, because cities felt like the only safe place. But I missed country life, and at age 30, I moved to Vermont in New England, where I still live today. It's a rural state, but with a more tolerant and open-minded culture than where I grew up. The book begins with my birth in 1960 and ends with the moment I finished writing the book in 2020. It's literally the story of my life, decade by decade, an attempt to chart my personal growth as I move from that childhood state of immediacy and oneness into adolescence when that gets shattered, and then into adulthood when you begin the long, arduous process of trying to get back to a sense of wholeness, but on a whole new level with all the self-awareness you've managed to accumulate, but hopefully with none of the narcissism. The book is a memoir, so the character who most resembles me is, I would have to say, me. But the book is also about various progressive-minded writers who share my concerns about the self, namely the Beats, the British Romantics, and the Transcendentalists. I find all kinds of parallels between these writers' messy personal lives and my own. Our fear of intimacy, our addictive behaviors, our addiction to the idea of transcendence itself. It's perversely comforting to know that I'm not alone in these struggles. The book was inspired by a youthful drug experience. When I was 20, I took psilocybin mushrooms and spent a quietly ecstatic summer day in Central Park, freed from the painful constraints of what I normally thought of as myself. It was the best feeling I ever had, and I've been trying ever since to get it back through meditation, through psychotherapy, through my creative work, and obviously through exercise. I've spent so much energy finding and repairing myself over the years, but as I move into old age, the next feat seems to be learning how to let go of it.